Well, we've got something here on New Zealand Today which I reckon will set you up for a great weekend. We're very fortunate to have with us the New Zealand String Quartet, along with their guest artist, Alan Chisholm. Welcome along. Great to have you here. In fact, they've had a tremendously busy schedule. In the last 4 nights, they've put on 4 concerts. I think it was, what, Napier, Wellington, where else you've been? Auckland and Palmerston. So you must be feeling fairly drained at the moment, I know. You're probably ready to go and lay down somewhere and, you know, have a bit of... have some lunch. But before they do that, we're going to ask them to perform for us. But I'd like you to meet the different members of the group first of all. Wilma Smith, welcome along.
Thank you.
You're playing a violin. And how long have you been involved in chamber music?
Professionally for about 12 years. And before that, you know, since I was about 13.
Is it a particular kind of discipline playing with a chamber group?
Yes, I think it is.
What sort of things make it different to performing with, say, an orchestra?
You're more individually responsible, seeing there's only one of you playing your part, not 15.
Yeah.
That's the main difference, and you have to make more of your own decisions because you have no conductor.
And travelling all the time, how do you find that? I mean, you've had a pretty hectic schedule at the moment. You've got more to come. Does that affect the way that you play? Does it affect the way you feel about the music?
No. It does affect how, you know, you feel.
Yeah.
Not about the music, but, you know, sometimes you have to pace yourself and look after yourself so that you're not too tired to play a concert that night. OK, well, thank you for chatting to us. And I'd like you to meet now Douglas Buellman, who originally came from Kansas.
That's right.
And how long have you been in New Zealand, Douglas?
About 3 years.
And you're enjoying your time here?
Oh, yeah, immensely.
And what got you interested in being involved in chamber music in particular?
Well, I think some of the things that Wilma listed as being the responsibilities are the things that actually make it a bit attractive, too, because you have a bit more freedom than if somebody's standing in front of you with a baton. But it's more than that. I think it's a repertoire, too. There's just so many great pieces written for string quartet that, you know, I wanted to play, so that's why.
Is it a kind of music that is growing in popularity or gathering in new audiences?
Well, we hope so. I mean, otherwise, you know, we'll be 20 years from now, you know, our audience might not be around anymore. But I think, yes, it is, actually. And I think you can look at the number of kids who are doing it now and studying violin and string instruments in New Zealand. And that's a good sign. Prior
to coming to New Zealand, you were playing in San Francisco.
That's right, yeah.
Do the audiences feel different in any way to you?
Well, not when you're actually playing there. I mean, you know, the attention and the concentration of the audience is the same. But there may be a difference in that American audiences come backstage afterwards and talk to you. So that took a little getting used to here because they're a bit more shy about that sort of thing.
Everyone just disappears.
Yeah, that's right.
So what are you looking for at the end of a performance that you're not getting? A bit of feedback, I suppose, is it? Or?
Yeah, it's nice to get that. Yeah, but then friends come back. If friends go to your concerts, they come back. You get the feedback there.
Okay.
From fellow musicians.
Right, well, welcome to our studio today, New Zealand Today, Douglas. It's nice to have you here. And this is Gillian Ansell.
Hello.
Hello, Gillian. You're also playing... Oh, you're playing a viola.
That's right.
Now, tell us, that's just a little bigger than the violin?
Yes.
Is that the difference?
Yes, you can see it's a bit bigger and it's a bit deeper. The pitches are all a fifth lower than a violin. And it's a deeper, darker sound than a violin and has its own voice in an orchestra or any chamber music.
I notice that you've got a lot of little annotations that you've added to your music. What do they all mean? Well,
we all have to write in a certain amount of information to ourselves about bowing, which, whether to start things on an up or a down or hook in 2 ups and things like that, and also some fingering advice to ourselves. There's so many possibilities of fingering anything on a stringed instrument. You can do everything up here or do it all way down there or shift around a lot. So you have to give yourself some help. You can't remember everything. So
when you don't have a conductor, does that mean that you've got to watch everyone else a lot more closely?
Oh, yes. Yes, you do. You develop very good peripheral vision and you know to flick up just for a second over there and then do it over there, for, a minute later. So you have to be very aware of who's doing what at any given moment.
What I sort of wonder about is that is there any one person in a chamber music or string quartet that is actually the boss? Josephine, Constantino. That's not why I came to you. I just thought I'd come and ask.
Well, I think we usually feel that it's pretty democratic. We all have our say. And a lot of the repertoire, the first violin often has, in the classical repertoire, the first violin will often have the melody for a great percentage of the time. And you tend to look towards the first violin to come in for the cues and adjust. But since then, it's the later repertoire for string quartet, the voices are very evenly written for, actually. So it's whoever has anything moving.
Sounds very democratic.
You know, very,
overall.
Pretty democratic.
The lead moves around. Well, we've got one extra person in the group, thanks, with us today. I'll just whip round behind the potted plum, very tastefully. And I'd like you to meet Alan Chisholm, and you're the ring-in for today, Alan, is that right?
Yes, that's right. You could call it ring-in or guest artist if you wanted to.
Oh, that's a bit flasher. All right, guest artist, yes.
But no, it's lovely to play with the quartet, and it's they're a nice, really nice group of people, and I'm enjoying it a great deal. We've known each other for years.
They've been together for, 3 years now?
Well, for 5 years as a string quartet.
And this particular grouping has been together for 3.
Yes, that's right.
Is it hard coming in as an extra person to something like this? Is there a kind of a group dynamic you have to slide into?
Yes, there is actually. Yes, it's quite interesting. It's better if you just are fairly quiet for a little while and just to see how everybody works, and then you see where you fit in. But because we know each other pretty well, we don't have too much trouble, I don't think.
Is it a pretty intimate world, the classical music world in New Zealand?
Yes, it is. Yes, because per capita there are a lot of people playing music, but there aren't obviously a lot in New Zealand compared to, say, England or the United States.
The piece of music that we're having performed for us today, that you're here to perform for us, you're an extra person, because it is what? Well,
it's a string quintet. And instead, quite often, they add another viola to a string quartet, but in this case, Schubert added another cello, so we have 2 cellos, which is rather nice, really.
And it's a scherzo from the Schubert Quintet in C major. What's a scherzo? A scherzo?
Well, it's usually a slightly quicker movement, and it developed. Often they were minuets earlier on, and the scherzo developed, and it's a bright movement. Anyway.
It's bright. Good. I'm looking forward to it. It's Italian for joke? Yes. Okay. Well, we will listen to this Italian joke. The Schubert Quintet in C major, the New Zealand String Quartet with Alan Chisholm. Great to have you here. Thank you.